So it's Marissa from Host Family Dublin, Ireland, and I am just going to go through some frequently asked questions by our hosts. What do I provide in the room? Okay, so in your guest room, you need to have, each student needs their own bed, okay? Clean sheets and bed linen, so it's always good to cast your eye over those. A side table, everybody has their mobile phones, a little lamp, and then always some space for them to put their clothes. If this is your spare room, it's ideal just to clear it out because you don't want to, open the cupboards and find other people's belongings in there. So if you can clear the cupboard space and then anything else to make it, a nice, warm, cozy, inviting guest room. A lot of our hosts also ask, how do I give a warm welcome? When hosts meet people at the meeting point, it's always really nice to, give them a handshake, ask them their name, introduce yourself. That's really, really nice. Just always remember, you do this often, so you're very used to it. But for these students, it can be the first time that they've ever been away from home and they're really nervous. When you bring them back to your house, it's really nice to maybe have a welcome drink. I know some of our hosts might have, a little bit of a cake, or the dinner will be ready, the table will be set. And it's really important to have your house clutter-free, tidy and organised, welcoming for when they come. In certain cultures, especially the Italian culture, if somebody's house is very disorganised or wasn't clean, it's kind of an insult in their culture to try and welcome someone into that environment. So if you can have it nice, tidy and organised for arrival, your student normally settles really, really well. Some of our hosts have fabulous ideas. I recently saw one which was lovely where they had the house rules in like a little photo frame in the room. It'd have the Wi-Fi code there, and if you have any particular rules, maybe about obviously being quiet after a certain time because you have young children, or if you're somebody in the house works very early, maybe there's a certain time that you like them to have the showers. You can put these simple house rules there and everybody knows then from the start what's expected of them. And alongside that, also some people have like a little welcome basket. Students are asked now to bring a refillable water bottle, but as we all know, people do tend to forget things from time to time. So it could be nice to have, from the Euro shop, a refillable water bottle for them, that type of thing. It's nice as well for your short stays, for instance. They only have the small 10 kg bag. So it's also good to have towels for them. You can have a special set of towels that are for your guests and they can be, left on the bed for them when they come. If your students are here for longer than a week, then once a week to provide a laundry service for them. I mean, occasionally with our lovely weather here in Ireland, sometimes, your students might have got soaked through on a day trip to Glendalough, and as a host, you might dry their clothes for them, or they might need something washing extra if there was an accident. But just as a general rule, laundry once a week would be fantastic. What do you provide them for their meals? Some are breakfast and evening meal, which is half board. We do have a special video just on lunches and what meals to provide. So you can find that on our YouTube channel and we'll post a link as well. Other questions could be, do you have to collect your students on arrival and departure? I did cover that recently. When we post up the booking, if it says collection on arrival and departure, there'll be a central meeting point. It could be in Raheny, Swords, Finglas, wherever it is, we'll put that on. Other students, depending on what was booked as their package, they actually get taxi transfers to the house. So always make sure you do have a look, just in case you don't drive or, whatever the situation is, make sure you know what is expected. Another question is, do I give my student a key? Students that are sort of a mature age, I absolutely would give them a key. That just means if they're an intern and they're working, but maybe they got let home early, if you're working, then you're not going to have a student stood outside maybe in January and February, cold, raining. Again, it's not an ideal warm welcome to your home. So just make sure that you show them how to lock up properly. And then my advice would be to give students a key. Another question that we get asked a lot is, what do I do if my student's ill? I personally would always treat them as I would a child of my own, or what would I do for myself. If a student's just generally not feeling well, remember they do come from normally warmer climates. So when they arrive here, sometimes they do come down maybe with a cold or whatever. So it's just the normal paracetamol, ibuprofen. Normally they would have brought things themselves. You can message your coordinator just to say, look, I want to let you know this student isn't feeling well. And your coordinator will also let the leader know to keep an eye on them. Also, they can contact their leader as well. If it was, a more serious, if they needed an ambulance, just obviously ring. And then obviously you can let us know as well, just to keep us informed. Or if a student needs to go and see a doctor, normally it's the HSC clinics, because not all doctors take just, emergency appointments. But again, if you contact your coordinator, they will help you. What support do you get from us? Well, I like to think that you get excellent support from our coordinators and team. You can contact us. We do have an emergency number. If you're going to contact your coordinator, please do it, before 9 p.m. at night, because they also have families, etc. So you can always drop a little WhatsApp message and they'll send you some information or call you back as soon as possible. Anything outside of that, we do have an emergency number on our office number, which is 01 444 6045, and you can reach any of the team there as well. Maybe the final question is, when do I get paid? So on the short stays, we always pay you on the Friday. So if they leave before the Friday, you get paid on that Friday. If they leave after the Friday, then we pay you into the next week. If your student's here for 3 to 4 weeks, you normally get paid on the last Friday when they're leaving. And if it's a high school student or you've got a long stay, you always get paid monthly, and it's the last Friday of the month. So I hope I've answered some of the frequently asked questions. If you have any queries at any time, please contact one of my team and we would be delighted to help you. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate all our hosts.